just like to add confirmation I just got that tonight on AEW, RVD, an ECW alumni, will be tagging with Taz's son. Okay, so they're in the pocket. They're in the pocket. Maybe there'll be a cool run-in. Maybe the kendo stick.
RVD, the fucking WWE champion?
Still closely associated with his ECW days. Yes, that guy. That guy. Live audience. What do we got from the audience? Come on, this is your time to talk to Kevin. You wait all week as part of the...
If not, he's going to start reading Todd is God out loud.
Like this, I'm going to read a passage. ECW saved wrestling. We all know this. We don't have to say this. Brandon...
Oh, stop it.
Brandon... It was the precursor to the Attitude Era, to the NWO. It was the when pig farmers and dentists and hockey players were in the ring. They were taking it seriously. ECW was risque. It was vulgar. It was dangerous. When wrestling wasn't. 92, 93, 94. And then, it's like Apple didn't invent the MP3 player, but they had they could bring it to mass market, and that was called the Attitude Era. All right, what was the question on the screen? I'll read it.
Yeah, night. That played, man. We just...
So we've just been notified on our feed here that Flair just showed up in AEW, as we're recording this, as Tony Khan's gift to Sting. Have to see where that goes. It's, I guess, a nod to the fan of the classic wrestling. I don't know what this does to move the needle exactly for the young fan, but my 50-year-old ass is intrigued. I'm clearly not the demo they're going after, though. Or maybe they are.
You know what? We get this a lot where we bash them. And I guess what people don't understand is they come on when we do our show.
Yes.
So by the time we can talk about it, it's been talked about for a week from everybody. So whereas Raw is on Monday, I can watch it. I can DVR it. I can watch it Tuesday, and then is that the Speaker of the House?
No, don't be silly. That's Joe Biden. Yeah, but listen, they're in Philly, right? Who would you bring out? Would you bring out Sandman? Would you bring out...
But not to Sting.
If you work it somehow.
Make Sting's retirement.
Make it some kind of roundabout thing.
Stop it with your ECW fucking deal.
No, it's logical. It's in Philly.
No, it's not logical.
And it's closer to the demographic. It's closer to the demographic.
You're right. Sting has such a fucking absolute correlation with ECW.
It doesn't have to be the Sting segment. It could be elsewhere on the card.
He's being brought out as a gift to Sting.
Correct. So give Sting something else, and then or give him Flair, and then
bring out Sandman for what?
Whatever the fuck. You got a whole show to write.
So
I'm looking at the demographic.
Take 4 minutes away from one of the other guys that need the time to bring back an ECW guy that nobody cares about, or bring Ric Flair out for Sting.
I disagree that you would have a reaction that no one cared about. Some of the ECW roster coming out on AEW. You would differentiate yourself from WWE. It'd be a totally different market, and I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's cool. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna leave this and I'm gonna watch it. But they don't want the 50-year-old guy.
As long as you fucking live down in your basement, you're cool.
Scott Caron was on with them, and he said, "Yeah, he said that was a lot of fun." He goes, and it was the one everybody watched least, got the lowest ratings. Who else? Who else is in the house? Ryan from the gym. Big Kev, can you help me with my arm drag?
No.
Any advice?
Maybe talk to an ECW guy. They were the one that did.
Yeah, maybe
revolutionized everything.
Let me think. Some of the guys that might help you with that. RVD might help you with that. Taz might help you with that. Eddie Guerrero, in his time, might have been able to help you with that. In his time there, Dean Malenko, from his time there, might have been able to help you with that as well.
Yeah.
Who else? Han Solo Scoundrel for Hire says, "Hey Kev, pretty obvious from my handle why I ask this, and I have zero shame about it. I don't live with my mom, have a wife and kids and a mortgage. Anyway, any geeks in either WCW or the WWF locker room?" I assume from the Han Solo, I'm assuming he means Star Wars geeks. Any big Star Wars fans in wrestling?
None that drove with me.
Right. Had to be. I'm sure there were in the company somewhere.
I don't think you were allowed to talk anything but wrestling during those 3 years.
No, one of my favorite stories. I don't know if you told me or Sean told me first, but like occasionally, like Scott would get in the car and he'd be like, "All right, no fucking talk
wrestling
about the business tonight." 5 minutes later, maybe not even 5. Scott
2001, 2002, 2003. What was that arm drag spot you did? Thought we weren't talking wrestling. Just that, and we're done. All right.
That's great. All right, more from the house. More love from the house. Our members of KliqThisTV.com that you can be a member of as well. Ask your questions during the live tapings. Headingite, I got to ask. Don't laugh at me. What the fuck is the arch? I know Shiki would ask, but what is it? It's a story Kevin told.
You gotta. It's when a girl is on all fours and she jacks her ass up.
And in a very, very odd. It was a night in the hotel room, right? Partying with the boys.
He said
there was a stripper.
It was a girl. Yeah. It was a girl and Sheik asked her to do the arch, and she wouldn't do it, and he fucking mad. I mean, he smacked the dog shit out of her.
So Headingite, if you're ever asked to do the arch,
just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it, out of respect. Jacob says, "Hey, Big Kev, I'm taking a 1930s U.S. history course, and I'm learning about the Flint sit-down strike in 36-37. Was your father in the UAW? Are you familiar with that history?"
It wasn't. My father was born in 32.
Okay. So this was, I assume, a job action taken.
I'm sure it was a UAW strike of some kind.
Yeah, interesting.
When you grew up in Michigan, I mean, you're not auto workers. It's kind of like lightning strikes. There's a lot of strikes.
Right.